Hi, I'm Renfred. I'm a Deputy Hall Master at ACS Oldham Hall. I look after boarders, after children as my profession.
I'm Monica and I'm currently a career counsellor.
We've been married for about 7 years and we've been fostering for about 3.5.
Since end of 2021.
First question, what does being a foster parent mean to us? How would we describe this experience?
Being a foster parent, I think it's really loving the most vulnerable in our society, getting up close in the daily nitty-gritty things. And obviously, we don't have our own biological children, so it has been quite a steep learning curve. There are times where, I think we have done a good job. We talk about it and we celebrate the little victories. But then there are a lot of other days where it's been tough.
Sometimes overwhelming.
Yeah, overwhelming. We may not know what to do, but I think it's been good for me personally. And also I feel that our relationship has gotten closer as well.
We talk more about different things, not just ourselves. We talk about the values that we have and how it affects our parenting.
Alright, so the next question is, do you remember the reasons that led us to fostering and have they changed through the years?
You were attending a talk or conference about housing and how homing young people was really blessing them, was really helping them out, especially young people from disadvantaged backgrounds. And when you shared it with me, I think that was something I was interested in doing as well. And I always thought that it would be a very meaningful experience to make a small difference in the lives of a youth that would have a larger impact on their whole life. Being blessed with our home, I think it was very intentional that we kept a room available for people to come and stay who needed it. When we see the victories and the changes in the lives of the youths, or how they used to be one way and then they change and they mature and they grow into bolder, happier versions of themselves, I think that's a blessing that we are glad to be part of. It's taking shape. When we first met our foster child, what was it like? How do you feel getting to know them for the first time?
Our current foster child, she came to us when she was 10 and now she's turning 13. I remember very distinctly that when she first came, she was very reserved, she was quiet, she didn't really want to interact with others very much, and also she would get upset quite easily. So we tried to communicate with her. We would ask her, what's going on? How come, you're not happy? Can you tell us why? And she wasn't able to articulate and she was shut down as well. So I think that was quite difficult in the beginning for about maybe the first 6 months.
I think we also look back and then we also understood that, hey, she's only 10, she's gone through a lot, and we realized that, hey, we didn't know whether this would work. One of the things that really did help us was when we reached out to our social worker at Grace Haven. We were so blessed because she immediately made time for us. She sat us down, she encouraged us, said we were doing a good job, and she gave us really good advice. She told us to pick our battles, and I think that really helped us. She also connected us and our foster child with resources to better help her, some tuition, some added resources, so that we wouldn't have to worry about that. I think that was really helpful.
Been so important not to be doing this alone for us. We have our church community as well who come and support.
Yeah, even our family who bring food and things like that. She has so many activities. She's more outgoing now. We're definitely a lot more confident, self-motivated to do a bit more of her studies and take care of herself.
So next question is, now that the foster child is part of our lives, what are some of the changes that you've noticed and how has our daily life shifted?
Well, one big change is definitely that we don't do spontaneous overnight JB trips anymore. With the foster child in our care, we have had to naturally move into a more routine, a more structured schedule. So we naturally have to make sure that there are set meals for our child when they come home, at dinner time, have something for breakfast. But I guess it all comes down to setting up a structure, being a good example for our children. What is one of the most heartwarming things our foster child has said or done for us?
This is one of the first things. It's something really small, really random, but I remember very clearly. So one night she comes back home from tuition. At the tuition, they ate dinner together and they had leftover. So she comes home and she tells me, oh, I brought you home chicken wing. I was working that evening and I was actually feeling hungry. So when she came home and she presented me these chicken wings, so I was really like, wow, I didn't expect her to like think of me. And she knows I like chicken wings. For her to like not eat all of that herself and think that, oh, auntie will like these. She might be hungry when I come home, and bring them home to me. So I was very moved. And she didn't understand why I was so moved, but I really was. I was like, wow, like I really appreciate these wings right now.
When she first came, she was quite calculative about her food. She will keep her snacks into a box. But for her to be generous with it, and we see her grow in generosity to her friends and to others as well, it's really encouraging to see and really heartening. For myself, we're always known as foster parents, right? But I guess what really struck me was once when we had a conversation with someone else, and they said, oh, your foster child referred to you as her parents, even though at home we do get them to call us uncle and auntie. But when I heard that, I started to tear up, because it's not something we demand or expect, but it's something that she felt. She felt comfortable with sharing that we are her parents. That's how she sees us, as figures who take care of her, who provide for her, who love her. And that was very meaningful for us.
I'm about to cry. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you think you'd feel if our foster child were to reintegrate with their family?
Current foster child is with us on a long-term plan to stay. But I do remember that we were really happy that one of our previous foster child was able to reunite with her family. We saw the difference that we had made in her life in the 8 months that she was with us. In areas of health, in areas of her confidence, even in her areas of studies, she was making a lot of progress in just the 8 months that she's with us. Even in that short time, you can make a really big difference in the life of a child. I remember you were there on the day her dad came.
She was like waiting on our sofa, anticipating, like getting ready for her dad to come to our doors. And then when he finally came, she jumped up in happiness with such a huge smile on her face. And it was so heartwarming to see that, to see this reintegration when their family is ready to take them back. So from our experience, fostering really does make a big difference in the lives of these young people. We are really just ordinary people who are giving a little bit of what we have and what we can. So if you would like to consider fostering or to find out more information,
so if you are interested, please contact Grace Haven. The number or the bio should be below. Let's all do our small part to make a big impact in the lives of these young people.